McCurdy, here's my support is I think what brings this movie so close to Dr. No or ahead of it is I personally think this is Sean Connery's best performance as Bond. From start to finish, from his own fight scene, fighting his own stunt double in the beginning. That's his stunt double.
Oh, that's his own stunt double. Okay, I didn't even know that.
In the beginning, looking back.
Oh, wow. I don't think that adds to it, though.
No, I'm not saying, but he fought, stepping up and doing the fight scene.
Yeah.
I think it was overall some of his best conversations, some of his best quippy lines throughout the movie. I can't say it's better than Goldfinger, but I think overall.
No, I don't think it's better. It's definitely not better than Goldfinger.
But I think what brings it down is the writing, the writer, the script, the side characters. They all seem very shallow. That's what I think brings the movie down. But overall, what brings it up for me is I think it's actually one of Connery's best performances as Bond.
Okay, I agree with that. I think the performance is great, but I do think, when people talk about good writing in a movie, there's many different things you can talk about. And yes, I think the plotting of this movie is kind of shit because there's a lot of, like we said before, it's a lot of inconvenience.
It's convoluted.
But what I do really, really like about this movie is that they became so comfortable with all the little quippy lines, because Charlie, for God's sakes, you love all the good, the good lines. Like, one of my favorites in the movie is when he kills Largo's henchman with the harpoon and they're sitting on the beach.
I think you got the point.
And that scene in itself, I think, is actually a pretty good scene. That's like a really great scene for Connery, and it's a really great scene for the woman who plays Domino, because, he has to tell her very uncomfortable news that it's like, hey, your brother died. That's a lot of big news to take. And the fact that the person that you've been sleeping around with killed him, that's also big news. But then on the third thing he has to say is like, listen, all that, I know you're upset, but look, there are a lot of people that could die. I need to know if these bombs are on that boat. I think that is one of the strongest scenes in the movie for his character as far as Connery's performance. And that's, I think that's also another reason why I think this movie's just slightly better than Dr. No. And slightly, because I cannot disagree with you about those plot conveniences, the inconveniences in this movie.
I mean, it's not just that, though. Sorry, Nance, just to respond to that real quick. It's not just the cutting the corners, because I can easily overlook that stuff. It more so has to do with, I think, overall, Dr. No, I appreciate its simplicity, and then this has this kind of like half-assed complexity to it. A lot of it does have to do with those plot shortcuts, but a lot of it has to do with Largo as well. And yes, Connery has a solid performance, but at this point, Bond is going to be Bond. He's had 3 movies to practice, and he kills it in this one. But I barely bring Bond's performance into any movie, honestly, because Bond is Bond. The whole character is the guy has fucking ice in his veins, and he's obsessed with completing his mission.
I disagree.
It's hard to that up, especially after he warmed up with 3 movies, and then he jumps into Thunderball, good to go.
Listen,
I more look at everything other than Bond, right?
That's
because
fair,
every movie I'm going to be like, Bond's performance is great. I'm gonna think that every movie.